We didn't take it seriously enough early enough. Highways England admits there were failings in how it dealt with a fatal accident on the M6 last month. One man died in the incident between junction 5 and 6 in the early hours of the morning. But the motorway wasn't fully reopened until almost 24 hours later. Well, today the incident and the aftermath were the subject of a major inquiry. Here's our transport correspondent, Peter Plisner.
Most accidents on the motorway cause some congestion, but what happened in early February was exceptional. Some drivers were stranded for up to 10 hours. TRISHA Taylor was one of those affected.
There was nothing coming back from the Highways Agency or the police, both there and on the return journey. It took a journey that probably take me 2 hours, took me 5 hours.
It's a combination of West Mersey Police.
Also stranded for 6 hours was the Chief Constable of the West Midlands. Today, attending a hearing into the chaos, he admitted it came close to becoming a major humanitarian incident.
I am satisfied it was probably, on balance, the right decision not to declare it a major incident, but I think actually it could have easily have become one.
It was Highways England that came in for most criticism because of delays in reopening the motorway. An oil spill had led to a decision to resurface the carriageway, but initially contractors had failed to spot it.
They did not see a diesel spill. The advice that they gave us, there was some minor Central Reserve barrier damage.
The hearing heard that the resurfacing operation also suffered delays because lorries came from Leicestershire and as a result had to be escorted by police through heavy congestion.
You'll understand that tarmac has a certain shelf life in the vehicles, and therefore we wanted to make sure it arrived at site and was usable, and that's why we took the approach that we did.
The hearing, which took place here at Birmingham's Council House, also heard from representatives from local authorities whose roads were affected when the motorway closed. It emerged during the hearing that they'd not been contacted either by Highways England or the police about setting up diversionary routes. No one really seems to come out smelling of roses over this incident, do they?
No, indeed. I think all three organisations themselves have got to learn a lot from this.
And according to leading political figures, the incident could also have damaged the region's reputation.
This is the Midlands engine, the beating heart of England. How can it be that every time we have an incident of this nature, the whole place comes to a standstill?
Poor decision-making, a lack of coordination and a region's image tarnished. The message from today's hearing clearly is that those involved could have done better. Peter Plisner, BBC Midlands Today.
Well, earlier I spoke to Melanie Clark, Highways England's Director of Customer Operations, about why the handling of the whole incident appears to have been a shambles.
I wouldn't describe it as a shambles, but there were definitely some real and clear opportunities with hindsight to look back and see where we could have made a difference in terms of resolving this incident. It was a complex incident. It was two incidents in effect. As you know, there was a tragic fatality on that part of the network that evening, and the police investigation into that, for good reasons, was lengthier than usual. And that meant that for Highways England there was a challenge in getting access to the scene and enacting our part in terms of recovering the network.
Do you have contingency plans for something like this? Because it seems to have emerged today that you didn't have a plan B.
Yeah, so we do have contingency plans for this type of emergency, but certainly we've learnt a great deal today in terms of actually greater coordination with our partners in enacting those plans. So I would say that Highways England were enacting their plans effectively in terms of resolving the issue, but we could have worked much more closely with our police partners and with local authorities to understand the emerging scale of the incident and how we could all work together to minimise the impact of that disruption.
Businesses lost tens of millions, didn't they? So, which is bad for the region, but it's also quite embarrassing, don't you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I
mean, the Chief Constable himself was stuck in the traffic for 6 hours. Most people up to 10 hours.
Yeah, indeed, and it really was an exceptional set of circumstances that kind of led to us having this duration of incidents. So we recognise that, and we recognise the real opportunities for us to communicate more effectively, I think, too, with the wider public. Again, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but actually we've understood through looking at this incident already that this could have been declared a major incident, and we could have done more in terms of drawing together the right people to actually support people that were caught in that congestion during that time.
So are you, in effect, sort of saying you got it wrong?
We could have done better.
Melanie Clark of Highways England. It's